Welcome everybody to Ask Doc Live. So glad that you're taking time out of your schedule. And let me hold on. Mute all. All right. Now, Dr. Wallach, you're going to have to unmute yourself. So we are here for Ask Doc Live. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today, taking time out of your schedules on Friday, whether it's, well, for some of you, it might be Saturday, actually, but taking this time out with us on Friday to be a sponge and learn about alternatives that can help you in so many different ways. So many different ways. My name is Rebecca Kozak. I will be your host for the next 2 hours. We are here. I have my wonderful co-host, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, who's going to be helping me with the waiting room and making sure comments get addressed. And for those of you who are on live, you'll be able to turn the chat on and the chat as it's going through and catch names of products and all that good stuff. But this program is brought to you by AskDocLive.com. But I want to make sure if somebody invited you to this program specifically, get back with them. If you have any questions in regards to products and wanting to get a protocol that's specifically designed to meet your needs, the person that invited you to this program, they care about you. So we want to make sure that they know that you're interested in improving your health and being empowered as well. For those of you who were not invited to this program by anybody specific, you received an email or you're part of our newsletter subscriber base, we thank you, love you, and you can always do a reply to that email with questions, or at the AskDocLive.com website, there is a contact us, and that will get an email directly to one of our certified holistic health coaches that can help you get your questions answered. And that's including our business opportunity. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. It's an amazing way to add some little bit of, or a lot of extra income while you're doing something that's purposeful and much, much needed at a time that we're going through right now. So the content of this program is to provide educational information only, and it is on the importance of nutrition. You know, so many different things in our life is affected by deficiencies, and when you correct those deficiencies, the body can do some amazing things and not just survive, but thrive. This program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, and the FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. Now, we're really, really honored to have this program that we welcome and invite one of the it's one of the founding fathers of a theory called epigenetics. And epigenetics has basically proven that the genetics just don't exist, that we can do things in our environment and in our diet that can change all these things that modern medicine has diagnosed or said as genetic just because they can't explain it. And Dr. Wallach is here as one of the founding fathers of epigenetics, where he has taken his own research and proven time and time again that genetic conditions can be not part of your family's future. So Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate you so much, and we look forward every Friday to having you here and sharing wisdom with us. So what do you have to start out today for us?
Well, just, a little bit of news here before we get into the subject of the day. This COVID thing is spiking again. This Delta variant from India is really going crazy. And let's see, right now, this is last night's figures. The United States, we have 38,643,113 infections. We have let's see here, dead, we have 643,113. Now that's interesting because during the Spanish flu, we had 657,000 dead, and we're not too far away from that. I think by the end of this month, we will have surpassed the Spanish flu, which was horrible. And of course, India had at that time 20 million dead in 6 months, 20 million dead in 6 months, and 110 million infected in 6 months. And so this is very scary stuff. And it all has to do with being susceptible to the bugs. Why are we susceptible to the bugs? Well, that's several things. A lot of people, they don't want to get vaccines. Well, that's their choice. Then a lot of people get the vaccines and they still get the COVID infections and still die. Well, how can that be? They were vaccinated. Well, vaccines don't kill the virus or bacteria, fungus, or yeast. They just notify your body about bad DNA and RNA. So when the bug shows up, everybody says, there's the bad guy. And you send in your defenses. You send in your white blood cells, including the T lymphocytes, which kill and eat the viruses, and the antibodies, which kill the viruses and bacteria and so on, and red blood cells and platelets, which protect you from bleeding to death and all that kind of stuff. And so you need to have the nutrition. So you need to be supplementing with all the essential nutrients. Right now, you want to go with a heavy hammer, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack that has 215 nutrients in it. You want to stay away from all the bad stuff. You maximize absorption of these things. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bar rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And even the diet one's got to go because it's still got the carbonation. Neutralize your stomach acid so you cannot digest stuff. And your stomach is not sterile when it becomes neutral or alkaline. Your stomach has to be in a acid environment to be correct. Then let's look at a couple of the top 3 states when it comes to COVID, and then we'll get into the subject of the day. Number 1 is California with 39 million people. California with 39 million people. Let's see here. California has 4,176,518 infections and just short of 65,000 dead, 64,842 dead. Second is Texas with 28 million, almost 29 million people, 28,955,000 in population. Texas has 3,400,004 infections and 54,000, almost 55,000, 54,862 dead. Number 3 is Florida. They're getting hit hard. Florida with about 22 million people. They're getting hit hard. They're running on the average 22,000 to 25,000 new infections per day. Okay, and they went over, they're the 3rd state to go over 3 million infections. Right now, they're at 3,039,988 infections and 41,931 dead. Well, when you look at California, Texas, and Florida, they're 45 to 50% Latinos, Blacks, and Indigenous peoples. So half or more of their population are those 3 races. And it's a dietary thing. It's not a racial thing. It's a dietary thing because they live on wheat, barley, rye, and oats. They live on gluten, which kills your intestines. So you cannot efficiently absorb nutrients, even if you're supplementing. Even if you're supplementing, you cannot absorb these nutrients if you're eating gluten. So clean up your diet, get rid of the gluten, no wheat, butter, and oats, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Take your 215 nutrients, get with a big hammer, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. And then we have Killer Biotic. We have the Fucoid Z. We have our colloidal silver, which I've been taking for 25 years. Put 2 droppers full under your tongue 30 minutes before each meal and 30 minutes before bedtime. It takes 2 of these 4-ounce bottles a month to do that. And then you want the hand sanitizer. I go through 4 to 6 of those little bottles, depending on how often I go in and out of the house, or a hand sanitizer. I put it on my face. I put it on my neck, my arms up to my shoulders, down to my hands and fingers, my feet up to my knees. And when I leave the house, when I come back in, I do it all again, throw all my clothes in a basket and put on clean clothes. And so you have to be very, very, what should I say, proactive here in defending yourself, especially if you choose not to get the vaccine. Now, people say, well, there's so many people getting the vaccines, they still die from COVID. What's going on? Well, they're not supplementing, they're eating gluten, and the vaccines do not kill the viruses. Vaccines only alert your body to the bad DNA and RNA. So you're responsible for being prepared to deal with it when the bug comes. Well, if you're eating gluten, your villi are gone. Your intestines, instead of looking like a shag rug, look like a smooth plastic tube. You've lost 98% of your absorptive surface. You're not supplementing. So you have to appreciate that plants do not make minerals. 2/3 of the 90 essential nutrients are minerals. Plants do not make minerals. Plants make vitamins, like vitamin C, they make some B vitamins, but some of the grains that make B vitamins you don't want to eat, like wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Okay. And so you really have to supplement because you have to avoid all these bad foods. Then you'll be in better shape to live. Well, kids are, even if they don't die, at 3 years old from getting COVID, they can transfer to grandma who can die. And so you want to get the kids toddy for them. You want to get the EFAs. Don't forget the pollen burst, the pollen burst chews, which are berries and let's see here, they're berries. Oh, and the EFAs, they have EFAs here in the pollen burst. The EFAs come from sunflower seeds and instead of wheat, brown, rye, and oats. So I like pollen burst for kids because that tastes good. Individually, little wrap bars like inch long and 1/4 inch thick. And then of course, replacing the.
If I can mention something about the pollen burst, Dr. Wallach, excuse me for a moment. So the pollen bursts are full of antioxidants and they are really yummy. So especially if you have somebody that has a hard time taking supplements, that's one way you can get antioxidants and EFAs in a yummy, like Starburst type form. So I just want to make sure everybody know that that is something that's available, as it's not taking the place of the 90 by any means.
It's an add-on.
It's definitely helping. It's
That's
an
correct.
add-on for sure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Dr. Wallach. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, one more thing here, and then we'll get to the subject of the day. FlexiCare Plus. This takes the place, if you're old enough to remember having bone broth, the chicken bones, beef bones, sheep bones, turkey bones, fish bones. You'd leave them simmer in vinegar water on the wood stove overnight, and then you'd argue who's going to get the biggest serving of the bone broth in the morning. And people got collagen and calcium and stuff like that way. Well, we don't have wood stoves anymore for the most part. We don't have bone broth. And so this is formulated based on what was in bone broth, and it tastes good. It has a lemon lime flavor, FlexiCare Plus, and it has MSM in it. It has vitamin E for the muscles, and then it has, of course, calcium and all that kind of stuff, and collagen in 2 forms. So add that, it tastes good. Add that to the liquids, especially for kids and especially for grandma and stuff like that. Well, the subject of the day, we want to talk about the heart. The heart never stops working. When you're asleep, when you're sitting at your desk reading or working, it's working. When you're working, it's working. When you're doing extraordinary things like exercise or something, it's really working. And so the heart, it works every second of your life from the time you're conceived to the time you die. So you really want to think about it. We need to take care of the heart. Well, the heart requires 90 essential nutrients. There's a couple of nutrients that are particularly required for the heart. And when you don't get enough of this, you die suddenly. It's called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease. This is what causes these 500 to 1,000 young athletes to die every year in America alone. Every year, they're in good shape. They've lettered 3 years in a row. They're going to be on the Olympic team, and they come home from exercising that day, and they're sitting at the table eating dinner, and they drop dead from hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease. Okay, kind of thing. Well, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease is called Keishan disease in Heilongjiang province, because Keishan University is there. Dr. Milan, with all her connections in China, got me to do a project in China where I did 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10 who had died of Keishan disease, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease. Okay, 35% of them had cystic fibrosis, 100% had muscular dystrophy, 100 of them would have been diagnosed with sudden death syndrome here in the United States. And so I actually, for doing that, published in 3 languages, Mandarin, Cantonese, and English. And it was, I got the Klaus Schwartz Award for that. I got nominated for a Nobel Prize twice for that study. And what should I say, it just helped us get the FDA to approve putting that nutrient into baby formulas, Enfamil and Similac, because none of the babies who died of sudden death syndrome were laid on by their mothers. 98% were in the crib when they died. And the 2% that were in bed with their mothers, I went back and redid the autopsies on hundreds of them. And guess what? Oh, they died of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease, because in the baby formulas they were getting, because they weren't being breastfed, they didn't have that nutrient in there, because doctors kept telling the manufacturers that nutrient's toxic, don't put it in there. Well, after that 1,700 autopsies, nobody could, could come up against me with the answer to that. So they forced the manufacturers to put that nutrient in there. People say, what is it? What is it? Well, no, you just, have to take that, take the baby formulas if we're going to do that. You need even for newborn babies, if they're going to be on baby formulas, you want to add the kid's toddy to it. Okay. Add the kid's toddy to it. And that has the nutrient in there as well, but it's by law, it's in those baby formulas now. And you don't hear about cystic fibrosis anymore. You don't hear about muscular dystrophy anymore. They actually fired Jerry Lewis when Jerry Lewis brought them all this information was from the Muscular Dystrophy Association. They should all go to jail for that, firing Jerry Lewis and shutting down the telethon. You got to be kidding me. He raised $2 billion for them and over 20 years in the telethon. And when he brought them the cure, they fired him. And so they should be ashamed of themselves. They should all go to jail. And they should shut down unless they change their ways, they should shut down the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Then sudden death syndrome. I'm the guy that made him change the name to crib death, because 98% of the kids that died of sudden death syndrome died in the crib. They were in bed with their mothers. The mother never laid on any one of them. But doctors say those things when they don't know what the answer is. They blame it on somebody else. Oh, it's your genes. Oh, it's autoimmune. Your body's attacking itself. Oh, the mother laid on the baby. That just is interpreted to, I don't know what the heck it is, and so I'm going to blame you. I don't want to be embarrassed. I will never say I don't know, because God is my second. That's what doctors think. They're bigger than God. And so that's why Dead Doctors Don't Lie was so popular, because everybody knew what I was saying was correct. Don't forget, the surgery was a success, but the patient died. So why did he do surgery when it wasn't necessary? Well, because he had tuition due for his kids for college. So this nutrient for this heart is one of 90. And so you don't want to be just taking that. You want to be taking it with all the other 89. And right now, you want to be taking the 215 with a big hammer out of the toolbox. Now, the heart also has congestive heart failure. It's a simple vitamin deficiency, congestive heart failure for the most part. And so you get rid of all the bad foods, you take the 90 essential nutrients, and you can throw in the de-stress capsules, which has a lot of that one nutrient. And within weeks, congestive heart failure you've had for a long time goes away. High blood pressure, coronary artery disease. Okay, coronary artery disease it has nothing to do with cholesterol. It has nothing to do with cholesterol. The blockages of those arteries, coronary arteries, is due to eating salad dressings and fried foods. Cholesterol makes up 75% of your brain weight. When they came up with statin drugs, to lower your cholesterol, because they mistakenly believed that cholesterol was blocking your arteries in your heart and your brain and your kidneys and every place else, they created a new disease called Alzheimer's disease. Now, don't get me wrong. There's been dementias going back to the Bible days, senile dementia and many others. Okay, just when people had scurvy, they had also dementia, because you didn't just get one vitamin deficiency when you're on the boat eating salt pork, right? Eating salt pork and bread, that's gluten and salt pork, everything bad. And so, and they weren't taking any vitamins and minerals except for the salt, sodium chloride. But that was only 2 of the 90. Okay, and that's why these people, they lost their memories, they had dementias, and they would die of scurvy and bleed to death and all that kind of stuff. So this is nothing new. Also, when a baby's born, Rebecca, how old is the baby when it's born?
Well, most babies are 9 months old when they're
Yeah,
born.
9 to 10 months old, 9 to 10 months old. So you got to give them credit. They're almost a year old when they're born. Okay. So people need to be taking these 90 essential nutrients to protect the heart of that baby for at least 6 months before conception, all through the pregnancy. And all birth defects are preventable. There are no birth defects that are genetic. There are no birth defects that are autoimmune. And of course, that's where the epigenetics came from. As my thesis, which originally was 5,000 pages, it represented 20,000 autopsies. It was a $25 million grant from the National Institutes of Health. I did the work at Washington University at the Center for Biology of Natural Systems in St. Louis. And it's in the Smithsonian Institute. My thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute as national treasure because they showed there were no genetic diseases, there were no genetically transmitted diseases, and there are no genetically transmitted birth defects. It's all nonsense. I take people who are like halfway through the first 3 months of pregnancy and the baby's got Down syndrome from a 3-screen test or an ultrasound, and we give the mother the supplements, and the babies are born perfectly normal. The most famous one is Lauren Knievel, Evel Knievel, you know, the daredevil guy, his niece-in-law, and she had an embryo. It was diagnosed with a 3-screen test and an ultrasound as being a Down syndrome baby at 2.5 months pregnancy. We gave her the 90 twice a day. The baby was born perfectly normal. His name is Noah Knievel. And I have some wonderful pictures of him. You know, he graduated engineering school. He's a very handsome guy in the military. And you never in your wildest dreams believe when he was an embryo, he was diagnosed with Down syndrome, because when he was born, he didn't have Down syndrome anymore, because we were able to reverse it in the early embryonic stages with supplements. Now, you know, once the baby's born with Down syndrome, you got what you got. But then we have a wonderful couple, the name of Ben and Wendy Erdman. They were both born Down syndrome kids, and their parents didn't know each other. But they all kind of moved to Texas about the same time. They were, I don't know, probably 50, 75 miles apart. They never saw each other until the kids got in grade school. But they started putting them on the Youngevity products for kids, the 90 essential nutrients. And they're a beautiful couple now. And of course, again, Ben is an engineer. And those two, they help so many people around the world, Ben and Wendy. And when you look at them, you'd never guess that they were Down syndrome, because they just look perfectly normal, because they've been on these supplements, and they're in their late 40s now, but they've been on these supplements since they were like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. And so it's an amazing thing what your body can do when you give it the raw materials to fix itself. That includes the heart. Now, there's some things, if you're born with a hole in your heart because you weren't getting the right nutrients, it depends on how big that hole is. If the hole is as big as a pinhead, well, I'd give it, you know, a couple of months on the 90 essential nutrients, and it might close itself. If the hole is as big as a dime, it may require surgery. But that hole wasn't caused by bad genes or autoimmune. It was caused by mama was missing stuff when the heart was forming the 4 chambers and all these big arteries coming out of it, and the little arteries feeding the heart muscle and so forth, and all the valves had to be formed. It was a very complex organ. It never stops working 24/7 for your entire life, from the time you're conceived all the way until the time you die. And so you really, we can eliminate all heart birth defects. We can eliminate them, so you don't need surgery. When people have this, again, congestive heart failure, coronary artery disease, give us 90 days before you do coronary bypass surgery, you know, and they cut loose the arteries off your heart and rearrange them and stuff like that. That's very scary stuff. And then you have these valve problems. When the heart enlarges, the valves don't grow. They're made out of connective tissue like tendons. And so the valve leaves don't meet properly. And so you get all these weird noises when the heart's beating, because the blood is coming back up where the valve is supposed to prevent that from happening. So before you go for surgery and you're like, say, 12, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, and you've had this problem, then give us 90 days and get on the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, and that heart will tone up. So now those valve leaves will meet and do their job again. And most of the time you won't need the surgery, because you just had to tone up the heart muscle because it was missing the nutrients. and it was getting fat and flabby because it wasn't getting the nutrients. You're getting a little bit of that one that when it was deficient caused you to die of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, heart disease, sudden heart death. So that's why you're still alive. But there's probably about 25 different heart diseases that are preventable and reversible with just nutrition and supplementation. And so think about that. Just remember, the surgery was a success, but the patient died.
So Dr. Wallach, I have a few questions and a few things that I want to kind of reiterate with what you said.
Okay.
Blockages within the heart are not.
Now you're talking about the arteries.
Right, within the
Okay.
arteries.
Mhm.
So they're not caused by cholesterol.
That's
In
correct.
fact, isn't cholesterol kind of like the Band-Aid within our blood? So when something is going wrong within the, it can be used to patch arteries, but it doesn't build up and cause blockages.
Well, I wouldn't even say that. Cholesterol, cholesterol has several jobs. Number one, for me, it makes up 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol. Makes up most of the white matter of your brain. Secondly, it makes up 95% of testosterone. Yahoo! That's why I eat 3 eggs twice a day. Okay, it makes up 95% of the weight of testosterone, makes up 95% of the weight of estrogen and progesterone. And women say, yeah, my OBGYN says I need to have some estrogen. I need to have this because I'm not making enough estrogen. Well, how many? Well, I'm on statin drugs because my cholesterol was 200. My doctor wants it down, below 150. Well, the optimal cholesterol level in your blood should be, of the good cholesterol, it should be 350 to 500. They want you to get below 150. You're going to get Alzheimer's disease, which did not occur until 1960. Alzheimer's disease didn't exist. It's a very specific disease causing a memory thing, but it didn't exist until 1960 because everybody's eating eggs and meat and all that kind of stuff since the beginning of time, whether dinosaur eggs or robin eggs or something, or, people were eating eggs and they were getting the cholesterol. And so we didn't have that. Just like obesity. Obesity was not a big problem until after 1882. Prior to that, everybody in the industrialized world were skinny. Well, when 1882, we went from wood stoves to electricity, and there was no more wood ashes, minerals to put into the gardens and put in our food. People began to gain weight because mineral deficiencies caused people to have a behavior called pica, and you eat, and you eat, and you eat. People began to gain weight, and doctors made the biggest mistake of all. They've cost more lives than all the wars in the world put together since the beginning of time by saying this statement: give up animal fats and eat more whole grains. Well, people started eating wheat and barley, rye, and oats like crazy. Well, what was it that the Egyptians were eating during the 10 plagues for the 10 years? They're all dying like flies. Well, for 1,000 years before that, they were eating rye and barley and wheat. Gluten alert, gluten alert, gluten alert. That's what's going on now with our pandemic with the COVID. Everybody's eating gluten because doctors said eat more whole grains, and everybody thinks that wheat and barley, rye, and oats is good for you. No, they're the worst possible things you can eat. That's why the Asians do much better than us when it comes to the COVID, because they eat rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash. Also good for the heart. And so this is not difficult, but you have to say, okay, well, I'm going to try something else for say 60 days and see what that does to my blood pressure. I want to see what it does to my blood sugar. I want to see what it does for my weight. And everything begins to come right when you get off of gluten and take the 90.
Okay, so we have somebody that has problems with infraction, like 33% infraction whenever it has to do with the blood flow going in and around the heart. What would be used to help improve that, Dr. Wallach?
Okay, well, when people have, partial blockage of the coronary arteries, again, they got to change their diet. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then they need, I'd put them on the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. And then specifically to support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries and to support healthy blood pressure and help bring the blood pressure down, which they tend to run together. I want them to take per 100 pounds of body weight, 3 of our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets twice a day, and that will support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. Even if you even have 95% blockage, it'll support healthy blood flow through those blocked arteries and support healthy blood pressure. Don't cold turkey off the blood pressure medication when you get on our program, but take your blood pressure every day, and as your blood pressure slowly comes down, you can slowly reduce your medication for blood pressure based on the numbers like you've been taught to do. And this is not difficult, and that's why we have we have all these books and CDs and DVDs. A beginner, what you want to do is start out. Of course, we have the gluten issue. That's a big issue because it prevents you from absorbing things even if you're supplementing. And so this is a 3-year study with 3 professional chefs in Canada and myself. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. Okay, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. 300 pages of gluten-free recipes. 300 pages. Okay, and I'll read this to you. This is from the chief of these 3 professional chefs, Chef Norman. He said, "I have worked in the culinary industry for well over 20 years. When I first encountered Dr. Wallach's food recommendations, I believed it was impossible to cook that way. In the food industry, oils and glutens are ubiquitous. Well, fortunately, I'm quoting him now, fortunately, I was wrong. In the last 2 years, we have recreated every dish that I can think of without the forbidden ingredients." Okay.
So this is a chef who has a reputation, who is putting together this cookbook based on your food recommendations.
That's correct.
I love that.
Yeah, so this is a study we did for 3 years. And of course, I was working on the recipes with him. And these 3 chefs are working in restaurants when they're on TV. And so we did questionnaires to all the people eating my diet. Did you like the taste? how'd you feel about it? And then respond to us in 2 weeks and 4 weeks and 6 weeks. Let us know how your blood pressure is and this and the other, and how your digestion is, how your bowel movements are. And the response was so great, it freaked these 3 professional chefs out because they couldn't believe it. They thought I was some kind of freak and I was a million miles off base. But people have been eating this way forever. Yeah, since those 10 years of plagues in Egypt, right? Eating wheat, brought around oats. That's why they had the plagues, just like why we have the pandemic. Same principle, no immune system. Okay, and so then of course we have Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, Passport Aromatherapy. It's all in your head, the 25 diseases from osteoporosis of the skull. Doctors never talk about that. And then the new one, Wallach's Cooking, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. Those will cover 300 different diseases. Those 5 books, the quintet of books, will cover 300 for sure, different diseases, and tell you how to prevent them, how to reverse them with nutrition and supplementation. So you can go to www.drjwallach.com, www.drjwallach.com. That's WALLACH. And, there's volume discounts when you buy 10 of the books. You get discounts. When you buy a case, you get discounts. And this is something that everybody needs if you want to add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. And you've heard me say this many times, Rebecca. Is our goal at Youngevity is to add 25 to 50 healthy years to everybody's life. We can do it. We know we can do it. We've done it all over the world. And we've been doing this for over 50 years. We have people who we started with who were in their 20s and 30s 50 years ago. And, now they're my age. I'm 82. I've been gluten-free for 74 years. I've been taking the 90 essential nutrients for 74 years. A couple of months, it'll be 75 years. So it's kind of exciting. Most people think I'm in my 50s when they look at me. They can't believe I'm 82. And varicose veins go away. It's a red warning light, varicose veins. It's not a disease, it's a nutritional deficiency. The same thing that causes varicose veins, it causes white, gray, and silver hair. White, gray, and silver hair is not due to aging. Okay, it has to do with nutritional deficiencies. And the story about Michael Jackson. He died of a ruptured aortic aneurysm at age 51. And he had the first symptoms of that deficiency when he was like 6 years old. He was a very dark-skinned black kid, but he started getting these little bean-sized white spots all over him called vitiligo. He wasn't producing enough of the pigment for his skin. And the doctors told his parents, well, he is a genetic thing. There's nothing to do about it. You can just put some makeup over that or let him wear gloves or whatever. So that's why he started wearing gloves with all the jewelry on it. And then he started putting, every morning he would put tattoos on his face so that people would think that all this, his white skin on his face was makeup. Okay, because his face was as white as typing paper and his hair started going white. So he was wearing wigs. And then at age 51, he dies of a ruptured aortic aneurysm because that same deficiency that causes this loss of skin color, hair color, and varicose veins, that same deficiency also causes a breakdown of the elastic fibers in your arteries. You die of a ruptured aneurysm, either in the heart, the AR, the brain, something like that. And so aortic aneurysms or coronary arteries, these things are totally preventable, totally reversible. And so before you do surgery, give it 90 days. You're 30 years old. You didn't just get that. You've had these things for a long time. So another, couple of weeks or a couple of months or so, not going to make a difference on the bad side, but it will probably make a difference on the good side because those aneurysms will repair and slowly go down to the normal diameter and caliber of the arteries.
So let's go to like the beginning stages or even just being diagnosed with an enlarged heart.
Yes. Okay. Well, an enlarged heart could be, again, due to congestive heart failure. Okay. That's, it could be due to deficiencies of many nutrients, particularly that one that causes the sudden heart death, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease. And just like, you get muscular dystrophy, when you get muscular dystrophy in animals, a 6-year-old kid who lives on a cattle farm already knows the answer to muscular dystrophy because in a cattle farm, you sell muscle. You're selling beef muscle for meat, right? And so when all these calves would die from what we would call muscular dystrophy in kids, we learned a long time ago when I was a kid that you give them this one nutrient and that's, they couldn't walk. They would lay down and scream in pain when you try to pick them up, make them stand up. They had what was called white muscle disease. Well, white muscle disease in calves and sheep and chickens and turkeys and pigs and llamas and everything else is what? Oh, muscular dystrophy in humans. Oh, so it's genetic in humans, but it's just a simple nutritional deficiency in animals. Oh, I see.
Yeah, no, that right there, Dr. Wallach, is totally against common sense in my book anyways.
Well, it is against common sense. And so again, doctors should have some, what should I say? There should be some global payments made from the medical associations and the medical schools to the parents who have lost kids to muscular dystrophy, okay, and cystic fibrosis and sudden death syndrome. And of course, it was very common. It used to be common in turkeys where they would die suddenly from hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease. It was very common in calves and racehorses. Oh my gosh, you can imagine the athletes of the animal industry, racehorses, they would die of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease. And, that's where we learned, what deficiency caused it. Because, you have a $2 million racehorse, you don't want him dying because you didn't give him 25 cents worth of something every day. Okay, this is not difficult. And so the medical system owes a lot of people a lot of money for the knowledge was there. They just didn't take the time or energy or effort because they're making too much money treating these people every day, every week, every month for years and years and years and years and putting their kids through college with this money. So why would they want to stop the flow of that disease? Okay. And so same thing with, most of these diseases we have today are totally preventable. They're totally reversible, but insurance pays. So the doctors don't feel guilty about billing you because they say, well, it's not hurting the patient because insurance pays. But see, that's a silly attitude. Well, no, I take that back. It's a criminal attitude. And so that's why I came up with Dead Doctors Don't Lie. That's why we've sold more than, we're pushing 700 million sold now of the CDs and DVDs. I have to look it up and see how many of the books are sold. It's in the millions. Dead Doctors Don't Lie. There you go. The book is in Spanish and English. The CDs and DVDs are in 9 languages, okay, all over the world. And so It goes into these things. This was, I was trying to get the word out to people. Hey, try these things for 90 days. Okay. And of course, they used to say some terrible things about Native Americans back when the European settlers came here to the United States, 400 years ago. They said some very, very terrible things about the Native Americans. I don't want to repeat them. And I was going to use those terms against the doctors, but it was too strong. So I reduced it from whatever that was to dead doctors don't lie. You can probably remember what it was they used to say about Native Americans, but that was too heavy. So I reduced it to dead doctors don't lie.
Oh, and for those of you who are joining us on this program, you can find all of Dr. Wallach's most popular books on our website as well, and including on his website. Our website is Ask Doc Live. And Dr. Wallach, Kim made a comment here in the chat that goes right along with a lot of what you say. But she says, you do a good job educating people, but people I know don't want to give up gluten, fried food, sugar, etc. They would rather take a magic pill, insulin, and complain. She says, and though I try to tell people about taking vitamins and minerals, they'd rather waste their money.
Okay, well, this goes back to the beginning of time. And of course, even in the time of Moses and Jesus, and all the great healers and great religious people from all the different religions all over the world, there were people who got it and followed it and lived to be 969, lived to be 300, lived to be 600, lived to be 120. And there's a lot of people who didn't want to believe it and didn't care, and they died at 20. And so everybody makes their choices. And of course, it's a matter of eliminating the people who don't pay attention to the details. And so it's one of those things where people make their choices. And so they got to live and die with their choices. And so we give everybody the information equally. And, these shows are free. It's not like they have to pay us to watch or listen to this Zoom, right? They can get on for free. And so it's one of those things where we're giving them the information. And if they choose not to take it, it's their choice. It's their choice. And this goes back to the beginning of time. And there are people who don't listen to God. And so I don't feel bad about that. We've done our part by giving them the information. And it's a matter of selection of the fittest, survival of the fittest, whether it's attitude, choices, or speed, how fast you can run away from something wants to eat you. All those things, okay, add to your ability to survive or not. And so when people make their choices, if you choose poorly, and that was in one of those old Indiana Jones movies, when somebody died from something simple, he said, well, he chose poorly. and yeah.
Well, and we're here to help provide information and be a resource to you. We hope that you find the information valuable and what we share on our programs. And we encourage you to share our programs. We have the replays. You can find all of those on AskDocLive.com. And you can use those videos to help get the information out to your family and friends that there are other options. You don't have to depend on a chemical because, folks, our bodies are not chemical deficient. They're nutrient deficient. And the body itself it's magnificently designed. I mean, think about it. We come from tiny cells within our mother's eggs to what we are today. I mean, how is that not a magnificent creation? And when we support it and give it what it needs, it continues to thrive. And I love that I am no longer barely surviving, Dr. Wallach, but I am thriving. And it's all because of your message, and somebody shared it with me.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with everybody else. You're beautiful, not only physically, but you're beautiful in spirit because you're helping so many people. You're taking a lot of time and effort on your part to help a lot of people. And you and Ruth Ellen and Nasima and John T and your whole team. And we just really love you guys and gals. And it's one of those things where, again, we're putting the information out there and people should grasp it. I mean, what a gift. 25 to 50 healthful years. Okay. And we're talking about just a couple of bucks a day, less than a cup of Starbucks coffee per day to add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. And if you do this as a business, that money you spend on your own supplements is tax deductible, because in your business plan, which is in my book called Wall Street for Kids, Wallach Street for Kids, abbreviated to Wall Street for Kids. And it teaches you how to build a business plan to where your business plan will pay for your health insurance, and it becomes tax deductible. You get to deduct the amount of space in your that you're using in your home for your business, whether it's your office, your warehouse, and your conference center and all that kind of stuff. Let's say it's 25% of your floor space. And let's say your mortgage is $2,000 a month in your home, or your rent is $1,000 a month. So 25% of that would be tax deductible. 25% of your utilities are tax deductible. 25% of your homeowners or renters insurance is tax deductible. People who come in to maintain your house or your yard is 25% tax deductible. And so if you use 50% of your home, then everything is 50% tax deductible. And you can get thousands of dollars a month worth of tax deductions even before you start making a lot of money with your Youngevity business. What if you're making, say, $1,500 a month worth of tax deductions for 3 months? That's $4,500 in tax deductions you're going to get back at the end of the year. Okay, is that crazy?
I think it's fabulous. I love it.
Yeah, and that didn't count how much you're spending. That didn't count how much you're spending on your personal insurance and also your supplements. And we're just talking about the home use. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's one of the greatest investments I think I have ever made, because now I can enjoy life, where before I didn't want to see the next day, which is sad to admit, but hey, let's be real, folks. There's so much that we can do for helping out ourselves and our family. It's just a matter of having the knowledge and putting it into action. And that's what we're here today for. So Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and get to some of the hands before we get to the top of the hour here.
Okay.
The first person that I'd like to call on is Lorraine. Lorraine, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, Lorraine.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. Thanks for your time. Okay, so I am 63 and I weighed myself this morning. I was 117, but I don't know if that's accurate because it's usually 124.
Oh, that's close. That's close enough.
Okay, and so about 3-4 months ago, I got diagnosed with asthma, and they're telling me that there's a hiatal hernia and it's causing acid reflux and it's causing asthma. And so I'm thinking Pulmicort and Montelukast.
Okay, well, stop there. Do you have any skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
No.
Okay. Do you have any bowel problems, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, celiac disease, Crohn's disease?
I wouldn't say constipation, maybe slight, but.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
No.
Do you have any gray hair? You're wearing a wig or coloring your hair?
Hair color. Yeah, I have gray hair.
Oh, okay. Do you have any varicose veins in your legs?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So you have a hair problem.
Oh, hang on. I've been having a lot of chest pains. They keep doing all these cardiac tests and they can't find it.
Well, here's why. Because the same nerve that's being, see, you have osteoporosis of the skull. You also have asthma. It could be COPD. It could be COPD, or it could be asthma. Or it could be both. And do you have any heart stuff? Any irregular heartbeat or fast heart rate or high blood pressure?
No high blood pressure. Sometimes, yeah, I have like irregular heartbeat.
Okay.
They did a BNP and D-dimer and it was very slightly elevated.
Okay. And so basically there's 12 pairs of cranial nerves. And when the 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve gets squeezed, you get irregular heartbeat called atrial fibrillation. That's probably what they were looking for. AFib is quite common in people your age, 63 years old. Atrial fibrillation is that 10th cranial nerve being squeezed by your skull when you have osteoporosis of the skull. Do you have any ringing in your ears, any tinnitus or ringing in your ears?
Yeah, on my left side. You know, they checked fib, but they said I didn't have that. But yeah, my ear on the left side ringing.
Yeah, tinnitus. Okay, well, that's the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve being squeezed by your skull when you have osteoporosis of the skull. And so if you don't do something about it, you're going to get Bell's palsy. You're going to get trigeminal neuralgia. You'll slowly go blind. Are you losing vision over time?
No, I mean, I can see, you know, he's talking about my right eye keeps twitching.
Okay, well, that's a different story. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, okay. And so here we go, 117 pounds. You need to get off all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown around oats, no sugar, no carbonated drink. Eat like an Asian: rice, sweet potatoes, beans, squash.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've changed my diet quite a bit.
Okay. Now I want you to, well, quite a bit isn't good enough. It needs to be totally. You need to do it right, totally. Okay. Then you need to take one healthy brain and heart pack per month. Get another bottle of our selenium, not from Walgreens or the grocery store. Our selenium has these 5 cofactors in there. And one healthy brain and heart pack will have 1 bottle of our selenium in it. So I want you to get another bottle of selenium because I want you to take 6 a day. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner, or 3 times a day for a total of 6 a day.
Wait, you're going really fast.
Well, they're
You'll
going
be
to
able
post
find
this.
the replay. Yeah, you'll be able to listen to the replay at askdoclive.com.
Okay.
Okay, then you can also take, in addition to the healthy brain and heart pack, that extra bottle of selenium, I want you to take the MSM, get 1 bottle of that, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. And that'll support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone matrix, including the skull. Okay, and your hair color will come back. Your veins will go back to normal, and your asthma will go away. The reflux can be caused by the same squeezing that same nerve, the 10th cranial nerve, causing what's called gastroparesis. Is severe. Doctors say, "Oh, you have a stomach ulcer," so they put that tube down your throat and look around in there for an ulcer, and they're always disappointed when they can't find it because it's really called gastroparesis. You can look that up. Gastroparesis. It's a squeezing of the 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve, and you get this irregular heartbeat called atrial fibrillation, which is not really a heart problem, it's a skull problem. So asthma will go away very quickly when you take what I just told you. And so don't submit to any surgery or anything like that. And don't cold turkey off your medication until you've been on our program for, a couple of weeks or 10 days or something, and you're noticing really improvement. So then you can kind of reduce your medication by 10%. And then if it's still going, if still everything's getting better, another week, reduce another 10%, and so on. So take a month to wean off your medication. Don't cold turkey off your medication when you get our products. But everything you have here will go away by getting rid of all the bad foods and taking the program I just laid out for you. And again, as Rebecca says, this is posted. And so you can go back and you can listen to it 1,000 times if you want to. But do call us every 2 weeks because your story is going to help a lot of people between 40 and 70, middle-aged people like yourself. These are very common things. And they go to a doctor, and after about 6 years' time, they're on 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 different prescriptions. They're going to the doctor twice a month. And don't worry about insurance pays. No, these are all red warning lights, and there's something worse coming along here if you don't deal with it. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Lorraine.
All right. Thank you, Lorraine. Now, again, everybody go to askdoclive.com. You'll be able to find the replays there. You also have a store there where you can purchase products. If you have never spoken to anybody about the longevity supplements, the store is available for you there. If you have been referred to this program, yes?
I don't think Lorraine was done. She was still talking.
Oh, I didn't see her mouth still moving. I'm sorry, Lorraine.
Should I take the start pack also?
No, the Healthy Start Pack is in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. The
Oh,
Healthy Brain
okay.
Heart Pack has 215 nutrients in it. Of the 215 nutrients, 90 of them are in the Healthy Start Pack, which is the core. It's the core of the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. But that's a good question.
Okay, thanks very much, Dr. Wallach. I appreciate you much.
Okay, well, that tells me you're very smart because you asked that question. Very good.
Yes, very, very good. So Dr. Wallach, let's go to the next hand that is up, and that is Susan. Go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Oh, Susan.
Good morning, and thank you. First I want to say thanks. I've been on the product for 6 or 8 months, consistently every day, and I want to say I have felt better. I just did some exercises with my 11-year-old granddaughter, and I not only could keep up with her, but I could do things she couldn't do. So I was really excited going, I've never been able to do these kind of squats and jumps and things. So it's all because of your products, Dr. Wallach, and I'm
Well, thank you for the feedback.
super grateful. Also, I have a couple of questions. One
Mhm.
is, I believe my hair is turning darker. And the other question, I haven't heard you say this before, but it seems like I'm growing more hair. Is that a possible after?
Oh, yes. I get people who are, bald like a bowling ball, smooth like a bowling ball, doesn't have a single hair on their head for 40 years.
Okay.
And just say 2 months in our program, they're growing their hair back, and in 6 months' time, they have a full head of hair with the original hair color when they were 12 years old. And so it freaks everybody out. And they say, "Do you have implants or what's going on here?" No, I just take this supplement.
Well,
No,
yeah,
no,
I noticed I brush my hair and there's no globs of hair in the brush anymore so much there was before. So I
Yep.
am loving my progress. I'm 76 years old, 5'3". I think I've lost about a quarter of an inch to half an inch. And I weigh 146 pounds. However, I have a problem. I've been no gluten for a long time, for years. And I've been on the 90, of course, and much, much more. I eat 3 eggs twice a day.
Okay.
However, I got a problem. I'm in a situation where my family had an emergency and I had to come and take care of people. And it's a household full of gluten. It's like, I feel sick. I mean, I feel not comfortable. Okay. Now, my question is, I know something's going on because I'm getting a gluten alert. How do I detox from that when I go home? What do I do to change that? Is there something?
Wear a mask.
I can do?
Wear a mask. Wear a mask.
Oh, while I'm here.
Okay.
Oh.
Wear a mask.
Okay.
Buy these, disposable kind of like plastic gloves, just the real thin ones, not heavy duty work plastic gloves, but just these little like surgical type plastic gloves.
I got 'em.
Okay, and then when you wash your clothes in their washer and dryer, you run a load with no clothes in it first, and have the soap clean out the laundromat. Okay, so
Okay.
that you're not washing, even if you're not washing your clothes with theirs, there's still gluten going to be in there unless you just run a cycle, with the soap in it, or at least the bleach or something, and before you put yours in there.
Oh, a great answer.
Same way with the sheets and all that kind of stuff. You cannot be washing your sheets in the same load with theirs, right?
Okay. Right. Thank you. That's really
Okay.
helpful. The other
Okay.
question, I have one other question, is that
Mhm.
I have consistently, not every night, but I've been having severe cramp in the left big toe. I do have some spider veins that are going away, but I still have
Mhm.
them. And I sometimes get leg cramps that just wake me up in the middle of the night. There's something I can add, or something I'm doing wrong in terms of the supplements? Is something I
Okay.
need to take
Well,
more of?
did you ever have sciatica? Did you ever have low back pain or anything like that?
I got it constantly. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what I want you to do is I want you to add the FlexiCare Plus to your supplement program. This is like
Okay.
FlexiCare Plus, and this is chemically like bone broth. You're old enough to remember bone broth.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is formulated to replace bone broth that is very difficult to get anymore or produce anymore. And so this takes the place of what bone broth did, was a source of minerals and things like that to rebuild your disc. Okay. You might even regrow an inch or two. Okay. Rebuild your disc and rebuild your bones. And, this could be called hammer toes or, whatever's going on there. But these things, it's due to your back issues. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because of the
okay.
back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so don't forget your collagen, don't forget your glucogel.
Yeah. Every day.
Okay.
Every
Okay,
day.
but then this has a month's supply. It's got 60 ounces, which gives you an ounce twice a day for the month. And so you can take an ounce of this in your breakfast supplements and an ounce of this in your dinner supplements. Okay, so there's one bottle will last a month. So I always buy 2 or 3 at a time so that I never run out. And, I'm 82 years old. Most people think I'm in my 50s when they look at me. They can't believe that I'm 82 because everything I do is rebuilding something.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Can I ask one more question? I have a customer. I'm one of your distributors. I've taken the coaching course, and she's pregnant, and they're seeing anomalies in the baby. She's 26 or 28 months pregnant, weeks pregnant, sorry. And what can she do extra to help that fetus at this point in her pregnancy?
Well, I don't know what anomalies mean. That just means something's going wrong. Is it an irregular heartbeat? Does he have a hole in the heart? Does
well,
he
they
have
know
Down
it-
syndrome?
It's they don't know for sure. They've done the sonograms. They don't know for sure, but they know that she's missing a finger. And
Well, I can't regrow the finger. It's too late for the finger. Okay. I can't
Okay.
regrow the finger, but the mama should be taking, do you know how much she weighs?
I would say she's probably weighs about 140.
Okay.
She's
Okay.
young. She's under 30.
Okay. I'd have her, is she going to breastfeed the baby?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay. Then she needs to start taking 2 Healthy Branded Heart Packs a month, full dose everything twice a day. I'd have her take the Fucoid Z, 3 of those twice a day. Those are capsules from algae and that kind of stuff. And then I would also have her take again this FlexiCare Plus. She can take an
Oh.
ounce of this twice a day. Okay. But that's going to give a lot of nutrition to that
Okay.
baby. But
Yes.
she's got to stay away from the gluten so she can absorb it. No wheat, no barley, rye, and oats. No wheat, no barley, rye, and oats. No wheat, no barley, rye, and oats. Okay.
I heard you. Okay. I'm on it. Thank you very much, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know how the baby does.
I will. She's gonna, yeah, when she's born, I'll have her make a report, or I'll come on and make one.
Thank you.
so much. God bless.
God bless.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Susan. So Dr. Wallach, let's take a quick break. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging in with us. We will be right back and be getting to the hands that are raised here with us live on Ask Doc Live. We'll be right back. Don't go away. All right. Thank you, everybody. I hope you got up and stretched and got some of the bodily fluids moving through your body, gotten a fresh glass of water. Want to make sure that we're all staying hydrated. There's so many benefits to staying hydrated, and I love being able to add our plant-derived minerals to all of my glasses of water. So I'm getting minerals throughout the day in a way that the body can actually absorb them. So just one little hint of a way that you can get extra minerals in your diet. Again, we want to thank you and welcome you for joining us on Ask Doc Live. My name is Rebecca Kozak, and I am just honored to be able to bring this program to you every week and have it be a resource that you can use to share with others to get the information out about this alternative road, this journey that we're on that is changing so many lives in such an impactful way. And of course, that's a positive impact. For those of you who were shared this program by somebody else, get back with them if you have any questions or you are interested in getting products. For those who have not been referred to this program by anybody specific, we do have a store at AskDocLive.com where you can find all of the products that Dr. Wallach is mentioning today. So we want to make sure that you get the information that you need and in order to make an impact and choose that more positive journey on your life that is available to you. So Dr. Wallach, are you ready? Let's get to the next hand. Go ahead and have you unmute if you would, please.
How's that? That working?
That works fantastic.
Okay.
right. Let's go to the next hand that is up, and that is Peter. Peter, go ahead and unmute yourself if you would, please. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. We're here with Mr. Paul.
Uh-oh, I'm hearing lots of noises.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, but I was hearing like a zipper or something like that.
Okay. So yeah, Paul's here. He just got out of the hospital recently. Paul has had his gallbladder removed, and recently he's had swelling in his ankles, and he's turned jaundice. So even though he has his gallbladder removed, his paperwork from the hospital, he says it shows some hepatitis, and there could possibly be a blockage in the biliary tube.
Okay. Does he have any high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis?
No,
Okay. How much do you weigh, Paul?
about 165, 170,
Okay. How tall are you?
6'1",
Okay. How old are you?
69.
All right. Let's see. You have a little bit of gray hair there. Do you have any
Yeah.
varicose veins in your legs?
Used to have more, but very little now. I don't have very many, very little.
Okay. All right. Any skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
No,
Okay. Oh, I can see now your beard is gray, so I didn't even have to ask the question. Okay.
yeah, it's still kind of brown or
Uh,
light
Yeah,
brown.
if you have one gray hair, you have gray hair. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. Do you have any kidney issues? Are you on dialysis, anything like that?
Not that I know of.
Oh, you'd know if you're on dialysis. Do you have any, let's see here, ringing in your ears, any tinnitus or ringing or whooshing or anything like that? Any balance problems?
No, I do. Maybe I do walk into walls, or I'll be walking and I kind of bump in the front of the vehicle or something. So
Is that from a vision thing or is it a balance thing?
I would think maybe a balance.
Uh-huh.
I don't go
Okay.
I don't go jumping off things that other people jump off. I kind of want to make sure I don't fall.
Sure. Okay, good. Very smart. All right. All right. And
Yeah,
so
Also, I'm sorry, Dr. Wallach. He does have an issue with urine flow and prostate issues.
okay. All right. And then do you have any low back stuff, any sciatica, something like that? Low back stuff that's causing, like pain or numbness or tingling in your toes and feet?
No. Sometimes a little bit of back pain, but no numbness in my toes or my feet.
Okay. Yeah. Well, most of the time when you have trouble with urination, it's a back problem, squeezing the sciatic nerve that controls the bladder. All right. And so here we go. Once you get rid of all the bad foods, everybody in your household, dog, cat, bird.
No, I don't eat a lot of bad food. I'm really
Okay, well, I've got 20 million people listening who have to hear the same instructions. Got it?
all right.
Okay, so I'm saying it for you, but I'm also giving it to them so that they're hearing the message too. All right, so no bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, even the diet one's got to go. And then at 165, 170 pounds, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. That's very important because the healthy brain and heart packs, it really should be called the healthy brain, heart, liver, kidney, lung pack, okay? Because your liver requires an enormous amount of nutrition. The liver does like 40 different things. And the fact that you're getting some jaundice here, your eyes are getting yellow or something like that, right? Do you have any anemia or low white blood cells or low platelets? You get any bleeding under your skin, anything like that?
No.
Okay, good.
Bump into something. I cut easy. I guess old people's skin, where you bruise easy if you bump into something or.
Okay, so you do bruise easy. Okay. Yeah. And so your bone marrow is not really happy, okay? Because the bone marrow makes the platelets to prevent that sort of thing from happening. So we're going to deal with all that. That's a bone marrow issue. All right, which is important now because it's your defenses also makes white blood cells and antibodies in your bone marrow. And if your bone marrow is not working, you're highly susceptible to the COVID. So we got to take care of you. So none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bran, rye oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Then again, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. I want you to take 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal. That'll be to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae. Now that's going to help you with the urination program here. Okay. Also bone matrix and so forth for the bone marrow. And then we also want you to take our glucogel. We have a liquid. You can take 2 quarts a month and take an ounce twice a day. Or you can get a bottle of our FlexiCare Plus and take an ounce of this twice a day. Okay, you can do that with this 1 bottle here. It's going to replace the old bone broth we used to drink when we were a kid. And then I also want you to take our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Now this is for the leg swelling and so forth. And okay, the healthy, see the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, they'll support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in your kidneys, your heart, your brain, your eyes, your legs, every place, also in the veins. And let's see here, that leg swelling. We also have a product called Ultimate Enzyme. We call it the gallbladder in a bottle. It has bile in it from cattle. You know, we go to the slaughterhouse, we take all the gallbladders from the cows, and we dry the bile, and we put some of that bile in each of these Ultimate Enzymes. And I want you to take 2 of those before each meal, like 5 or 10 minutes before each meal, with a couple ounces of water. So you'll need about 2 bottles a month of our Ultimate Enzymes to pull that off. And that's going to replace your gallbladder, which they took out. And so by taking all this stuff, this jaundice within 30, 60 days should go away. And you should not have any pain, you know, where you had the pain where your gallbladder was. And this is a case where you need to be sharing the story with your friends and your church mates and all this kind of stuff in your family, because what should I say? Doctors removed your gallbladder because you were complaining about discomfort there. Okay, so that's why they took your gallbladder out. And you got to stay away from the bad foods, because the odds are at your age, you've been eating gluten, you know, and you've been eating oatmeal since you're a year old. And so you have a gluten problem. And so this could be causing this pain in this area also. But the urine flow should improve. And if you want something for your prostate, we do have what we call ProstFX. You could take 3 of those twice a day, and that will give your prostate gland what it needs to function properly, but also to reduce the swelling so it goes back to normal size again, function properly and so forth. It's called ProstFX, PROST-FX, and wouldn't hurt.
Shrink the prostate.
Yes, that's correct. As I say, it'll bring it down to its normal size.
A large prostate.
Yeah, it'll help the prostate function better. And so will the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, which is this blood flow thing. And if you want to, you know, this is a male thing. I take 3 of these twice a day. That's it's our Zera test. It gives us Sertoli cells, the raw materials they need to make testosterone. Eat 3 eggs.
I'd like to say something.
Yeah.
Put a camera up there, and that helped me go to the bathroom. Also, I was self-capitalizing myself. I'm not doing that anymore since I got out of the hospital. It seems like now I got a good flow.
Okay, good.
They're talking about going in a rotor and opening things up. I don't really want to do that procedure.
Okay, since then, tell them no.
It's something that can shrink my prostate.
Yeah, I just told you that. That's the ProstFX.
Okay.
Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I already told you 3 times. Do you have a hearing issue or a memory issue?
No, I think I got a bad hearing, but I think when people tell me something, it takes a minute to go. So I think I got a delayed process.
Well, yeah. Okay. So yeah, so all this, including the blood flow with the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, is going to help your brain work better. Don't forget the 3 eggs twice a day. But the ProstFX will help also shrink the prostate gland. And I take 3 of the ProstFX twice a day. I take 3 of the Zera test twice a day. That's the raw materials to make testosterone. And, you know, I'm 82 years old and do okay for an 8-year-old guy. All right, so give us a call every couple of weeks. Let us know how things are going, because you can see results very quickly here. Where do you live, Paul?
I live in Bellflower, California, born
Oh,
in
California. Okay, so yeah, you can get the product within a couple of days very easily. But as soon as you hang up here, box up all the bad foods you may have in the house, the fried foods, the processed meats, the oils, the glutens, wheat, bran, rye oats, and sugar, and processed and carbonated drinks, and give them to your doctor. Don't just throw them away. Give them to your doctor and deduct them off your taxes. Okay, so I
pretty much-
apologize.
I don't eat a lot of bad. I don't do bread. I do
Okay,
meat
good.
pretty seldom. I'm more into salads and vegetables and
Okay. Well, let's back up here. You can be a meat eater, but you can't eat it where it's burnt. Medium rare meat is good. I eat lamb chops every Saturday night from Australia. Okay. I eat steak every Tuesday and Thursday nights. I have gluten-free pizza with hamburger patties on top of it and 4 types of different cheeses and 6 or 8 different vegetables. And of course, the gluten-free pizza is made with cauliflower and rice flour. Okay. And I have a glass of wine every night with my dinner. I'll have a third of a pint of gluten-free ice cream for dessert every night. I've been doing this for like 74 years, except for the wine. I just started the wine when I was 18. Okay. And so at any rate, basically, this is very simple. You give your body what it needs, just like when you go to the filling station, you check the air on your tires, you check your oil, you check your antifreeze, you check your air filter, all that kind of stuff. You just don't wax the car. When people, they color their hair and they put fingernail polish on and they put makeup on and this, that, and the other, they don't take care of their internal body. And then they wonder why they die at 35 or 50 or 70 or whatever it is. We have the capacity to live well beyond 100. Everybody in America, because of our education process and ability to get things, everybody in America should be at least a super centenarian, which is 110. Everybody in America should live to be 110. So I always like to say my goal is to add 25 to 50 healthy years to everybody's life. Right now, the average lifespan of Americans is 75. It's dropped 4 years since the pandemic is on, because people are dying in their middle ages and younger ages. And so I want people to live to be 110 or more. Add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. But you're going to have to work at it. We have the raw materials for you to do it, but you're going to have to incorporate these raw materials into your life and then stay away from the bad stuff. And then you'll add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. And give us a call every 2 weeks, bring us up to date, because a lot of people are going to want to hear your story, Paul.
All right, thank you, Dr. Wallach. So next, Dr. Wallach, the lady with the hand up, she's had some really good questions in the comments. So I'm looking forward for her to be able to get the information and answers directly from you. So Kim, thank you so much for unmuting yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach, my dear.
This is Kim. Kim?
Yes, God bless you, Dr. Wallach.
Well,
I
thank
love
you.
your faith, and I thank you so much for what you do.
You're very sweet. How can I help you, dear?
Well, I'm currently in the hospital. I've been diagnosed with multiple myeloma, POEM syndrome, lymphedema, hypothyroidism, idiopathic intracranial hypertension. I've been on Revlimid. I've been on Revlimid for 71 months. I fell about 13 weeks ago, and I was knocked over by a door, and I broke my femur.
Okay, stop. I want you to slowly go over that whole list again. Start out at the beginning. Multiple myeloma, and then you got too fast.
Multiple myeloma, POEM syndrome.
No,
my daughter had pyroli.
Stop. You say Crohn's?
POEMS, POEMS syndrome.
What is that?
It has multiple things. It has idiopathic intracranial hypertension. It's treated the same way multiple myeloma is. It's a rare disease. There's only like 500 people or so, but it's growing, unfortunately.
Okay, well, that tells me it's a nutritional deficiency. Okay, multiple myeloma. Okay, this is not a cancer in your bone marrow, is it?
Yes, multiple myeloma is a cancer, a blood cancer that affects your bones. It weakens them.
Okay, now back up. Do you have any ringing in your ears, any tone or tinnitus or whooshing in your
Yes,
ears?
yes, I had it terribly after surgery, but it's now gone. But I do periodically get it.
Okay. And do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
It's difficult to tell because my results are skewed by my low hemoglobin, which is currently 8.2. I've had two. I'm a type O negative, and I've had 2 transfusions right after my first surgery on my
Okay.
femur.
Now, wait a minute. Now, are doctors talking about you doing a bone marrow transplant?
No, I have harvested them, but that's old technology, and I prefer not to do it. Only if if I have to survive, I would do it. If my doctor
You do not,
said it.
you know, if your doctor said it, you need to flee. Okay, you do
Yes,
not need.
I did
you
not
do
do it.
No. Okay, good. Okay. All right. No high blood pressure, no diabetes.
I have a high blood pressure when I was 30, but not now. And I can't tell if I have diabetes because my hemoglobin is so low, it skews the data. However, my daily blood glucose levels are good.
Okay. All right. How much do you weigh?
I was 426. Today we're probably about 253.
Okay. So, you lost almost 200 pounds.
Yes, I did it
How-
without surgery.
Okay.
I
Good
walked
for
in a
you.
pool. I walked in a pool 7 days a week, 2 hours a day for 7 months back in 2012. And then I tried to just control my calories to provide for a 3-pound weight loss using an app.
Okay. Well, here we go. I'm going to just go through this, and this will be posted. So I don't expect you to get this all written down. Okay.
Yeah,
But
I'm
it's
focusing
posted.
on what you're saying.
Okay. You're focusing on what I'm saying, and it's posted so you can look at it 10 times a day for the next 100 years. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Well, congratulations on losing that 200 pounds.
Thank
All
you. I
right.
praise God. It's all God.
Well, he's the greatest healer, isn't he?
He is. And the Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay. What a guy. What a guy. I'm talking about Jesus, of course. What a guy.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I praise God that I'm born again.
Okay, good for you. All right. So I want you to get rid of all the bad foods, which you're obviously doing, but this is for our listening audience as well. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. I want you to eat like an Asian, eat rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash, that kind of stuff. You can have fish, you can have red meat, but nothing can be fried, nothing can be burnt. You can even eat sushi, the Japanese raw fish kind of stuff, if you're into that.
I swell when I eat that. I'm salt sensitive.
Okay. Well, you get sushi without salt on it.
I see.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, and then I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal. I want you to take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And I want you to, and it's going to help support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone matrix, which includes the bone marrow cavity and all that kind of stuff. It's the support it needs. And then also will help you with the anemia, which you have. And let's see here. The tinnitus, the ringing in the ears, I also want you to get 2 bottles a month, okay, of the FlexiCare Plus. Okay, get 2 bottles a month of this. Put 1 ounce of this in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's why you need 2 bottles a month. So you can take 3 ounces a day instead of 2 ounces a day of the Flexi Plus. Okay, and that's going to give you some more MSM. And it's going to give you some more collagen, and so on. Then I want you to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. I want you to take 3 with each meal. That's 3 bottles a month. It's going to support and promote healthy blood flow through blocked arteries, whether it's in the brain or the heart or the kidneys. It's going to support healthy blood pressure. And then, do you ever get sleepy after a meal? Do you ever get sleepy after a meal?
No, but I am concerned because people with multiple myeloma say we shouldn't have hyaluronic acid or glutamine. And I want to know if I can follow the guidelines in your cookbook for food.
Yeah,
I was previously diagnosed with sleep apnea, and but I don't get sleepy after a meal.
Okay, good. So you get, yeah, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods is the book you want? Dr. Wallach's
Yeah, it
Cooking
looks
Without the
good.
Bad Foods? Yeah, yeah, 300 pages of good recipes that are gluten-free and so on. So you'll love it. If you like to
One
cook,
other
you'll love
thing
this
too.
book. Hmm?
I'm sorry to interrupt. One other thing is people who have multiple myeloma and POMS, they're not supposed to have a lot of protein because it can attach to their organs. Because it unfortunately it can attach to my organs. I have to be very careful. I'm kidney
Yeah.
sensitive.
Okay, well, everything we're doing here supports the kidneys. Okay, so give us a call every couple of weeks or every time you see the doctor and get another report or something. And we'll walk you through this, but this is where you're gonna get started. Okay, and again, it's posted. I don't expect you to remember everything it says, but it's posted and so, you know, the girls do a great job of putting it up and so you can get to it and you can look at it 100 times a day. But let's walk
Yes.
through this together, okay?
Thank you. I'm going to be in a rehab, so I may not be able to do it until I get out because they control what I'm able to take. But I definitely will proceed, and I have been implementing your dietary protocol.
Well,
and I
here's what
thank
you're,
you so much.
stop. I want you to stop. Here's what you're gonna tell them. I'm gonna find a nursing home that's gonna let me take my vitamins and minerals. If you're not letting me take my vitamins and minerals, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go to a different nursing home. I'm only gonna
It's
go to the
not
nursing
letting
home
me-
that lets me take the vitamins and minerals.
Yeah, I'm being released today, and unfortunately, with COVID and everything, it's difficult to find a bed, particularly if you're a chemo patient. But I don't
Mhm, mhm.
anticipate being there that long, so I'm gonna ask I'm gonna ask both my doctors to please let me take my supplements, and they'll
There you
put in a
go.
charge order for me.
Okay, good. Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
back-
God bless you for all the
okay,
wonderful
go-
information. Take
Okay, God
care.
bless you, dear.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for having the courage to get on even while you're in the hospital. That's fabulous. And make sure that you do at the next home, you can request a gluten-free diet. So gluten-free and oil-free. So that is something that you can make sure that you put in a request for. Dr. Wallach, the next question is coming from TB. TB's a little bit shy, so she doesn't want to come on with the camera.
I
But
apologize. What's her name?
TB, so just the initials
Oh.
T and B.
Like tuberculosis.
Yeah, but I think it's much prettier than that. So she female, 36 years old, 327 pounds, and has been diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and its comorbidities.
Okay, if there was a piano playing or something there for a moment. I don't know who did that.
It's my internet. I'm
Oh, okay.
sorry.
Okay, so you had to go back and what's her problem?
Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
What is that?
That's a very good question. And TB, if you would please come on and share the symptoms that you are experiencing, that would be much, much appreciated. So if you can unmute yourself.
Hello.
All right, go ahead. Share with
Can you
Dr.
hear me?
Wallach what you're experiencing.
Okay, so Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, it's a connective tissue disorder. And it literally can affect your entire body. So I also
Okay,
have
now-
a bunch of other things. That come with it.
Okay, stop there a minute. Now, when you say connective tissue disorder, you're talking about disc problems between your vertebrae, you're talking about tendons and ligaments. So what are you talking about here?
It basically makes your, it makes your, I'm sorry, my brain. It makes your
Cartilage?
collagen, your collagen faulty.
Mhm.
So it can affect anything, your joints, your arteries, your just anything.
Okay.
So a lot of people get aneurysms,
Mhm.
and
Mm-hmm.
like right now I have a thing called POTS, which makes my blood pressure drop
Okay,
too low.
Okay, so your blood pressure drops. Okay, low. Okay, low blood
Mhm.
pressure. Do you have any diabetes?
I don't, but
Do
I
you
do
fall
have
asleep after meals?
gastroparesis.
Oh,
I do.
gastroparesis. Okay, so you have gastroparesis. Okay, that's osteoporosis of the skull squeezing the 10th cranial nerve. of the vagus nerve, causing pain in the stomach. Okay. And how tall are you?
About 5'5".
Okay. Yeah, 5'5". I'd like to see you weigh 140 pounds. So we need to lose about 150, 160 pounds here. Okay. And so here we go. And I'm just going to go straight forward here, but this will be posted, so you'll be able to, go back to it many times. All right. So you need to get rid of all the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, rye, and oats, no gluten, no wheat, no barley, rye, and oats, no gluten, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats, because you have a gluten problem. Do you have any skin issues, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
No, but I have excessive dry skin.
Okay. Do you have anything going on with your bowels, any constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, anything like that?
I was diagnosed with IBS. I also have the
Okay.
gastroparesis and the constipation.
Okay, you had to back up. You said you're diagnosed with, and you had static there, and I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, sorry. I was diagnosed with IBS.
Oh, okay, irritable bowel syndrome. Okay, yeah, that's a gluten issue. Everything you have is caused by your gluten issue. Your gluten issue causes you not to be able to efficiently absorb things. All those villi in your intestine go away. And instead of looking like a shag rug, your intestines look like a smooth plastic tube. You've lost 98% of your absorber surface, and that's why all of your connective tissue, whether it's your arteries, your tendons, your ligaments, your cartilage, your skin, everything is breaking down because you can't get these nutrients. So you got to get rid of all the bad foods, okay? Then at 327 pounds, your age, I would have you take 3 of the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month, 3 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month, full dose of everything at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because you have some really life-threatening diseases here. And then I want you to eat like an Asian. I want you to eat rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash. You can have meat, you can have fish, but nothing burnt, nothing fried. I want you to eat eggs. I want you to eat 3 eggs twice a day or 2 eggs 3 times a day. Soft-boiled, hard-boiled eggs won't count, and fried eggs will cause cancer. You want that. And then I also want you to, in addition to having the 3 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month, full dose of everything 3 times a day. That's for many things. That's for many things here, because there's like, I don't know, 6 or 8 different products in there, and just read the labels and it'll tell you the dosage, but I'm telling you the dosage. And then for the gastroparesis, I also want you to take our ultimate enzymes. You can take 2 or 3 of those, say 5 to 10 minutes for each meal, a couple ounces of water. And then let's see here. Okay, well, this is going to cover pretty much everything you need. Okay, and that irritable bowel syndrome will totally 100% go away, but you got to get rid of all the gluten. No oatmeal for breakfast. Okay, none of that kind of stuff. No Wheaties for breakfast, no pancakes, no waffles for breakfast. I had 3 big scoops of wild rice this morning, along with a couple of slices of smoked wild Alaska salmon. Okay. And I had 3 soft poached eggs for breakfast, and I had some yogurt, and I had all my supplements. And so you can do the same thing. I only weigh 142 pounds, and you can eat about the same thing that I eat, and you're going to slowly, I don't want to throw a weight loss program at you yet. I want you to do this and get rid of the bad foods. You're going to lose a half a pound a day just getting rid of all the bad foods. And so when you call me in 2 to 4 weeks, I expect you to be down to 300 pounds or 315 pounds or something like that. You're going to be losing a half a pound a day if you do what I tell you here, just by getting rid of the bad foods. Okay, give us a call. We'll walk you through this. And I'm going to have to look up a couple of these things because, but I know what you got, but they always like to, these doctors always like to name things after themselves. I'm going to have to start naming some stuff after myself.
That's awesome, Dr. Wallach. I want to do a quick screen share because I have, if it'll let me. Oh, it's not going to do it. So I have this amazing graphic that shows slides of what it looks, what your intestines are supposed to look like.
Okay, good.
and also what they're not supposed to look like, but it's not giving me this screen option. So I'm really bummed. I'm gonna figure that out
Okay.
next time.
Okay, but I just want people to know your intestines, your small intestines, whether you're doing surgery and you're opening up the intestines because of surgery, or you're doing an autopsy and opening up the intestines lining the small intestine should look like a shag rug. Should have these finger-like villi sticking up, okay? And they increase your absorptive surface by about 95%. When you're eating gluten, those villi all go away and your intestines now look like a plastic tube. You lost 98% of your absorptive surface. And that's where the problem comes in. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. This happens over a period of months and years. And when you're eating gluten 3 times a day, pancakes, waffles, oatmeal, then you have spaghetti at night. In the middle of the day, you have flour tortillas, that kind of stuff. And of course, you have all kinds of desserts and cookies and pie crust, that kind of stuff. And you have cookies and cream ice cream with the cookies in it. You have cookies for snacks. Or you drink beer made from wheat. You drink whiskey made from rye and barley and that sort of stuff. So then, and say by the time you're 25 years old, you're going to have 25 different diseases that are all nutritional deficiency diseases caused by a gluten problem because you couldn't absorb the nutrition even if you're supplementing. So yeah, I'd love to have you show them those pictures. Oh, I cannot hear you. You're muted.
Nope, sorry. So I'm gonna get that figured out before next time so that I can show this graphic because
Okay.
it really does show that shag rug and that hose effect when gluten is present and has been used for so many years. So
Yeah, well, that's what killed so many Egyptians over those 10 plagues in 1550 BC.
yeah, it's very impactful, gives you a great visual. So I'll get that available. So next,
Rebecca,
yes, ma'am,
maybe you can have it posted on Ask Doc Live.
I will do that. I will do that. I'll get it inserted into the replay of this video so that we
Oh,
can,
cool.
yeah, great idea. So Christy, Dr. Wallach made a comment. She says, I started getting severe leg cramps during the night, not a Charlie horse, much worse. I found it was caused by when I ate too many mixed nuts, which were raw, unsalted. I do have food allergies, but sometimes it takes me a while to figure out what causes an effect. I used to hide the nuts from my husband, so now I've given them all to him. Now, I know for me, my severe leg cramps had to do with calcium and magnesium and other mineral deficiencies.
Well, Rebecca, you've hit a nail on the head. You get an A+. And of course, I would like to know how much gluten Christy's eating. Okay, because even if she's supplementing, the odds are she's eating gluten and she can't absorb it. And leg cramps is usually due to nutritional deficiencies because the muscles require nutrients to contract and relax. You need 2 different nutrients to contract and relax. And so leg cramps are quite common, but there could be many, many reasons for that. And so it's not because you're eating nuts. That's not the problem. Nuts are not the problem. It's because you're having oatmeal for breakfast and spaghetti 3 nights a week at Spaghetti Factory and flour tortillas at lunchtime and pizza 3 nights a week made with flour pizza crust. And that's the problem.
Yeah, and so something else, and this is just a hint for all of you parents and grandparents out there, you know, kids get growing pains. And I found that when I started my son, who's now 9 and almost as tall as I am at 5'7", he no longer had those growing pains, and he's grown this year, he's grown almost 5 inches. But I started him on adding additional OsteoFX liquid, Dr. Wallach.
Well, duh.
So he sleeps better at night because we give it to him at night, and he doesn't have any leg cramps. So I love the fact that that simple addition into his diet has made such an impact.
Well, how do you feel that you know something that almost all doctors don't know?
I stopped asking them for advice except for you. Because yeah, it's so many
Now,
things are
see,
so simple.
I'll give them,
Dr. Wallach.
Rebecca, I'm going to give the doctors the benefit of the doubt here. I'm going to think they're just ignorant. And that's why they don't know what to say. Because if they know what to say and they're saying something wrong just to get a patient, then they're a criminal. So I'll just say they just don't know.
There you go. There you go. All right, let's go to the next hand that is up, and that is Susan. Susan, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on with Dr. Wallach.
Okay, thank you. Female, 68. I'm 114 pounds, 5'9.5". I've shrunk 1 3/4 since my 20s. And my presenting concerns clearly from the bad foods diet in my youth, but I've been off gluten for some time, and so still dealing with trying to get my gut working well, and it feels like I don't absorb water and nutrients.
Okay, stop.
Uh-huh.
Are you supplementing with the 90 essential nutrients?
I've just started with yours, but I have been trying to focus on all of that.
Okay, and then you're staying away from wheat, barley, rye, and oats. There are no such things as gluten-free oats.
Yep. Well, and I've learned to take, I was doing oats, but I've learned to take those out.
You know, no, there's no such things as gluten-free oats. That's a big lie.
Yeah.
And because the gluten in oats is called gliadin. And so you can call gasoline fuel, but it's still gasoline.
Right.
You call it petroleum, but it's still gasoline.
Right.
Okay, same principle here. And so no wheat, barley, rye, or oats. And it takes you, you're gonna notice first, your hair color is gonna begin to come back. You're starting to get some, what was your original hair color? Blonde or red or brown or black or what?
Brown, light brown.
Brown? Okay, so you'll start seeing some brown hairs coming back in, and you'll begin to get your hair color back. And that'll tell you you're absorbing the nutrients. So you don't need to take, a blood test, although it wouldn't hurt if you want to. You can get our book, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, and do a hair analysis. In chapter 10, it tells you how to collect the hair and how to box it up, where to ship it, what size check to put in there with it, because the lab won't run the test without the check. And save you a lot of time by getting it all in at once. And it has 2 charts when you do the hair analysis. One chart tells you about all the essential minerals. Are they in the range where they're supposed to be? Are some low, some high? What's going on there? And then the second chart is toxic minerals. Everybody says, yeah, well, when I was young, I was in the military, and I know they sprayed and all that kind of stuff, so I probably got some toxic minerals in it. Well, for a few bucks a day, you can find out exactly, do you have any lead, or do you have any mercury? Do you have any uranium? Do you have any of these terrible minerals in there that people always say, well, I got them? Well, for a tax deductible lab test, which is very cheap. I don't even remember because I don't deal with it. But send a little check, and it's tax deductible because it's part of your healthcare lab work. And it's one of those things where you can find out exactly, do I have any of those bad metals? And then, of course, in our book, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, it tells you what to take if you have any bad metals. It tells you what to do if you're low in a couple of nutrients. If all of your good minerals are low, guess what? You're not absorbing because you're eating gluten, or you thought you were gluten-free. Are you cooking for your husband?
No, I live alone, so I can really control this, and have for some time now.
Okay, good. So you're not cooking.
No gluten, other than a year ago, getting rid of the gluten-free oats.
Okay, good. All right. So there you go. And of course, at 114 pounds, once you have 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, that's ours. Get another bottle of our selenium. 1 bottle of selenium will already be in there, but I want you to take 3 twice a day. Take a half a dose of everything else twice a day. 114 pounds for that 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per month. 1 bottle of the MSM, so you can take 3 twice a day, or 2 3 times a day, for a total of 6 a day. And that will help repair the gut, because the gut, like your arteries and veins, is 2/3 of the thickness is due to connective tissue. Okay, scar tissue, not scar tissue, but connective tissue like tendons and ligaments and that kind of stuff. And, but this will all go away and your hair color will come back, which is telling you that you're on the right trail and you're getting the nutrients to your brain, your eyes, your heart, your kidneys, your lungs, your liver. They require an enormous amount of nutrition to do their job. Just as we were saying early on in the show, your heart beats 24/7 from the time you're conceived until the time you're dead. You got to take care of that little puppy. Most people take better care of their dog than they take care of their heart.
Right. Well, this, it sounds like it'll, all of my presenting concerns from eczema to low energy to starting to get bulging veins is captured by that. Can I ask a quick question about, I'm taking the first prescription I've had in about 40 years.
And it's for?
Well, I had a cat bite that healed fine, but 2 days later I had a wasp sting and quite painful, foot swelled up. What I did dealt with the infection, but the foot stayed really large. So I went to critical care and came home with a steroid.
Mm-hmm.
And
How long ago was that?
Wednesday. So I'm only
Okay.
on 3 of 6 days, and the foot went down. I mean, he said, you know, if the swelling doesn't go down, go to the emergency room. So the swelling's down, everything feels normal to me. I'd like to just stop this prescription, but it is one that says take the full course.
Mm-hmm. We've only got a couple of days left, take the full course. But at any rate, by taking the program that I gave you, it's also going to be good for blood vessels, veins, arteries, skin, tendons, ligaments, connective tissue, bones, cartilage, including your foot. Okay?
Yeah. Yep. Good.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay. Give us a call every couple of weeks because people are going to want to hear your story. Your testimony will give people a lot of good information.
I hope to.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Suzanne. Next, Dr. Wallach, we are going to the next hand up, and the hand is up and there's a camera, but there is no audio attached to it. So there's no way that I can ask them to unmute. So hi, Lo, you are here with us. You need to make sure that you attach device audio whenever you come into the Zoom. So I do want to remind everybody that you can get the replays to all of our Ask Doc Live broadcasts at askdoclive.com. We have all that information there. And so many people were like, what's that good food, bad foods list? Dr. Wallach just goes through it so fast. We have on our website that list. So please go ahead and go to askdoclive.com. Right there in the menu options, it says bad food, good foods list, and you can get that information there. You can also find all of Dr. Wallach's most popular publications on our Ask Doc Live as well. So one-stop shop, we've got all of the products that Dr. Wallach mentions, but again, get with the person that invited you to this call and get whatever products you need, order through them, okay? Dr. Wallach, Pamela is asking a question, what causes hair loss, like a handful a day? And I have been there, so I know the answer and the solution, but let's get the solution directly from your mouth, which is gonna be the same thing that I used when I was having this problem. So please share with us.
Okay, thank you. Well, hair loss has to do with nutritional deficiencies of the skin, just like when you have osteoporosis of your bone structure, it's nutritional deficiencies of your bones, okay? And the same thing is true with hair. We take people that have been bald for 40 years, like a bowling ball, I mean, smooth, not one single hair on their head for 40 years. And in 2 months' time, their hair is already a ½ inch thick. And in 3 months' time, their hair is back like it was when they were 12 years old. Original hair color, no gray hair, all this kind of stuff. And so we like to get rid of all the bad stuff again. None of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, iron, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And there's where Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods is 300 pages of gluten-free cooking, okay, and recipes with a combination of mine and professional chefs. It's really a good investment for your health. And then they want the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, one Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per 100 pounds of body weight. I would throw in the MSM for collagen, okay, which is skin. And then we have the hair, skin, and nails, my favorite. I take 3 of those twice a day, hair, skin, and nails. There's 2 bottles a month. And it gives your skin what it needs to make hair, but you also need to have circulation. So you need the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. And the hair will grow back. And if it started falling out white, gray, and silver, again, within a couple of months, the hair color is coming back, because white, gray, and silver hair is not an age thing. It is, in fact, a nutritional deficiency. It's a red warning light that you're going to have some more serious life-threatening problems down the line. So getting your hair to grow back with the hair color when you were a kid, that's a very good sign that you're on the right track.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that. Now, the next question that I have is from somebody who is experiencing urinary tract infections that they just can't get rid of. So this is a female. She's 46 years old and weighs 178 pounds at 5'4". She has never done any of your products, and her main concern when she was writing in was trying to get rid of these painful urinary tract infections.
Okay, well, the odds are it's a back problem, okay, causing pain on urination, okay? And so this can happen in men and women, but in a woman, she doesn't have to worry about a prostate issue, okay? So that's fair. And so at 178 pounds, you get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bread, rye, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, even the diet ones. But 178 pounds, I want her to take 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want her to take 2 bottles a month of our MSM, take 3 of those with each meal, and they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae. Very important here, because when you have sciatica, low back issues, the vertebrae get closer together and they smash the sciatic nerves, which control the urinary bladder. Very difficult to start urination, very painful urination, and doctors focus on your pelvis when it's really your back. Okay, and so you can also, in case you have an infection, in case you do have an infection, we have our colloidal silver. You can put 2 droppers full under your tongue 30 minutes for each meal and 30 minutes for bedtime. That'll kill just about everything, viruses, bacteria, fungus, and yeast, because it absorbed through your mouth. Your oral tissue is almost like intravenous. It never reaches your stomach because it just is absorbed very quickly. It has no taste. It tastes like water. There's no alcohol in it, so even little babies can have it. Colloidal silver for internal infections. And so I would guess that this is a back issue as opposed to an urinary tract infections. All right.
Okay. Now, I just had a comment come in wanting to know, what would you recommend for a 12-year-old girl, 140 pounds? She started getting urinary tract infections when she was 2 years old. That's a long time.
Yeah. Well, again, is it a back problem? There's no reason why a 2-year-old can't get a back problem. If the 2-year-old's eating oatmeal for breakfast and not taking any supplements, or getting droppers full of vitamin A kind of thing, and having a very pitiful, this is where these kids need the kids toddy, all right, and the EFAs, and you can throw in the pollen burst chews, okay, because they get the EFAs from the sunflowers. So I know there's no gluten in there because the EFAs come from the sunflower seeds. So that's very safe for kids. And this is very, very simple. Probably 98% of the reason that people go to doctors for is undiagnosed nutritional deficiencies, almost always secondary to a gluten issue, malabsorption, and not supplementing. And so you get them supplementing, you get them off the gluten, and all these problems that people have had for weeks and months and years and half a lifetime go away in weeks. Because I mean, I get people who are unconscious being fed through a G-tube 3 times a day, through their belly. For 8 years, we give them our stuff through the G-tube, and in 3 days' time, they get up and go back to work. They didn't even realize they were in a coma for 8 years. And so it's this, I do this all the time. I have pastors that were, you know, their family and their church family were told they only had weeks to live. They're in a coma. And we just rubbed our plant minerals because they weren't being fed through a G tube because they didn't think they were just going to survive. So they didn't even give them a G tube. They're just giving them an IV to keep them hydrated, and they're slowly drying up and dying. And so Miss Linda, one of our great distributors in Baltimore, Maryland, she, you know her, and she wipes these minerals all over the pastor, his back and his legs, just our plant minerals, our you know, our colloidal minerals. 3 days time, he wakes up, goes back to his church, and he's through his studio, he's zooming and talking to everybody all over the world how this miracle happened. And I flew out there and we did a CD and a DVD. It's called Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. We tell his story and many other stories similar to his. And it's kind of like, if you're in the military, you know where that came from, because God is there, does a great job. But when somebody's shooting at you, you want ammunition to shoot back. So in the military, it's praise the Lord, but pass the ammunition.
Right.
In this case, it was praise the Lord and pass the 90.
I love that. I love that because, you know, there is so much life in that 90 that people don't even realize what they're missing until they get it into their bodies. And that's something that I experienced. You know, I had migraines, Dr. Wallach, since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
And within the first 2 weeks of getting on your program, those migraines quit. And in the last 5 years, I've had maybe 4 headaches that I wouldn't even classify as a migraine. And it's just because of the nutrition that I found in your products that I had gotten nowhere else.
Well, thanks
So-
for sharing your testimony.
Well, and you know, whenever the doctors say, okay, well, you can't take this, you can't take this, there's not enough money in the research to find out what the cause is for me, is just ridiculous because you've already done that research and we have a solution.
Yeah,
We just
that's,
need to make
it's
others
in
know
the
about it.
Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. That's my thesis on my 20,000 autopsies. It's in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. So they can't say it's not available.
Right. It is available. They
can even go online, they can buy used copies fairly economically.
Well, it's the wrong people educating them, Dr. Wallach.
Well, there you go.
So we just need to make sure that your message gets out more and more. And all of you that are on live with us today, everybody that's watching this replay, join us in making sure this message gets heard. Share it with everybody you know, whether they're in or out of the medical field, it does not matter. Let's get the truth out there and start taking back our health. It's
well said.
It's so simple, Dr. Wallach, but people make it complicated. So I want to encourage people to,
Well, give your website out. Give your website out again so they can get the books and CDs, DVDs.
Yes, go to AskDocLive.com. AskDocLive.com. All one word, no spaces, no periods, no hyphens, just the letters, and you'll be able to find all of Dr. Wallach's publications. You will find a store there with all the products that Dr. Wallach has mentioned today. And you have the contact us option where you can send us an email with your questions in regards to health. And one of our certified holistic health coaches will respond to that, making sure that you get just what you need. We don't try to sell you something more, but just what you need to help your body do what it's designed to do. So I just want to thank you. We are straight up top of the hour.
Yep.
I just looked at the clock.
We're past the hour.
Well, now it's 10:01. That's right. That's right. But Dr. Wallach, thank you so much. And Ruth Ellen, thank you so much for all you do as the co-host. She and I were kind of on doubling it today rather than having our our extra double with us, but I think it went smoothly. Thank
You did
to
a great job.
everybody. Yeah, we loved what we do, Dr. Wallach, and the fact that we can share this message with others and have purpose in what we do is probably one of the greatest rewards.
Well,
Yes, it
we're
is.
family. We're family. Thank you. Thank you, Ruth Ellen.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Thank you, Becca. And thank you everyone for coming. It was great that you could join us today.
Absolutely. And we will see you next week, same place, same time.
Okay,
And if you-
bye-bye.
We'll talk to you later. Bye, Dr. Wallach.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.